What is up guys, Photo Fever here and welcome back to another Lightroom tutorial. Now I love taking photos at golden hour. It is by far the best time of day to take photos, but I often find the photos are underwhelming. They end up looking something like this, very underexposed. Sometimes there's very little color in it and they always look quite dark. Now there is one way to change that, and today I'm going to be showing you how you can get the most out of Lightroom by turning a boring photo like this into a stunning photo just like this, just using Lightroom sliders. And I'm going to start right now. So first thing you want to do guys is go ahead and choose a photo. Now I would recommend choosing a raw photo because you've got a little bit more play with the levels. You can push and pull the colors a little bit more, you can affect the highlights and shadows a lot more, and it's not possible necessarily with a JPEG photo. Now we're going to be using Lightroom, which obviously you can use raw and JPEG, but I would recommend using raw just so you can create a better effect. It is possible with JPEG, but not as much when it comes to RAW. So just bear that in mind with this particular tutorial. And today's photo, I'm going to be using this photo, which is a classic representation of what it's like when you're shooting RAW and you're shooting directly into the sun. Sometimes there's flaring involved. You can see, if we go ahead and zoom in, there's flaring near the back of her top here. But overall, there's not a lot of information in the sky, and the shadows are quite washed out. So we're going to be affecting these things using the Lightroom sliders. So what we're going to do is we're firstly going to go ahead and just open up our basics panel found on the right hand side here. Now in our basics panel you can see it is basically split up into three sections. You've got your white balance, you've got your exposure, and then last time you've got your textures, you've got your vibrant sliders all found at the bottom here. And ones we want to affect mostly is the highlights, shadows, contrast, and exposure to start off with, to more balance out this photo. So what we're going to do firstly is we're going to go ahead and take our exposure and we're going to take it down, but we're not going to take it too far down. So we just want to make sure we've got enough that the blacks look black in the photo, and I find they look almost grey. So we'll do that like so. Then what we can do is go to our highlights, and we're going to take our highlights all the way down. And as you can see, there's actually a lot of information in the highlights here that you wouldn't necessarily have noticed if you shot JPEG. So another reason to shoot RAW. Then we've got our shadows, so we're going to go ahead and bring our shadows up. But again, bear in mind, we don't want to make the shadows look washed out or grey. So you do want to balance the highlights and the shadows sliders accordingly. Make sure the whites don't look too grey and the highlights, the shadows don't look too grey as well. There's a balance in between, and you can use highlights, shadows and contrast as a way of affecting the brights and the darks independently from each other, which is really good. So once you've done that, you can actually increase the contrast a little bit as well. Now I'm finding her face is still quite dark, so let's go ahead and increase the contrast a little bit further. Lovely. So we're going to go increase our shadows, and we're going to lastly increase the contrast. So we're going to go for something like so. Now, in my particular case, I don't like changing whites and blacks because again, I find that sometimes you can affect the darks and the whites too much and the photo looks too manipulated. So in this particular case, I'm going to leave it like so. And then we can move on to texture, clarity, and dehaze. Now I'm going to increase the texture, but not by too much. So I'm probably going to increase it by, let's say, 20%. Now, in this particular case, I'm going to increase the clarity, but honestly, not by too much, so around 10% in this particular case. Again, I don't really like increasing clarity on portrait photos. It can make the skin sometimes too sharp. So, but because this photo is a bit further away, it's okay for this particular instance. And then lastly, I'm going to increase dehaze as well. This will hopefully bring a little bit more contrast to the photo. But again, we don't want to go too extreme, so I find about 5% would be fine in this particular case. And after you've made all those changes, we can go back to our highlights and shadows and just affect those again accordingly. So as you can see already, this is looking dramatically different from what we started off previously. If I go ahead and show you the previous photo here, so if I go ahead and select it like so, you can see already there is pretty much a very large difference. So this is really good to see. There's a lot more information in the highlights, and we've brought back a lot of information that was lost originally in the shadows. So what I recommend now doing is going into kind of your color grading, and we can do this either using the color grading sliders or the HSL sliders. In this particular case, I'm going to be using the color grading tool. So we're going to go into here, and what it'll do is it will bring up 3 independent color wheels. Now you can use them as a whole, so we can select them like so, or you've got your sections at the top, you've got your shadows here, then you've got your midtones, and then lastly you've got your highlights. Now, in the highlights, we want to add a warmer tone. So we want to add nice yellows and oranges. So in this particular case, I'm going to rise that up to kind of where the orange is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and increase that saturation. So I'm going to increase that like so. Add this nice kind of warm glow over the highlight areas. Now in the shadows, we want to basically do whatever is opposite on the color wheel and basically introduce a complementary color. So because we've added in these oranges, what we want to do is we want to flip that, and we're going to go ahead and add in blues. So I'm going to go ahead and add in a good amount of blues just in the shadows here. Now we don't want to add too much, but basically we just want kind of this section you can find near the bottom here where her shadow, or she's casting a shadow of the sun. We want to add in some blue there. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in like so. Now I'm just going to make it a little bit more cyan, I think, because I think that's what will work really nicely. And we'll go ahead and do that like so. Okay, this is looking really nice, but if you've already noticed, if you go ahead and zoom in, I would say her whole face and body is still a little bit too dark. Now, we don't want to add a global filter because obviously it's going to affect the whole photo. So what we want to do is basically add in a filter that only affects kind of where her face and head is. And we can do this by adding in a radial filter. So once we've selected and we've done all of our color grading and everything like that, what we want to do is go ahead and select this button here. This is your radial selection. So what we can do now is go ahead and step down to the bottom, and then we can go ahead and select a radial gradient. So what I'm going to go do is click and hold, and we're going to go ahead and add in a gradient like so. Now I'm going to make a thinner gradient. I'm going to go ahead and move it so it's basically covering most of her body. Now what I'm going to do is, because basically we've masked that area out, what I'm going to do is just simply increase the contrast of that area. Actually, I'm going to move it a little bit above her head, and I'm going to make it so it's not so tall. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that a little bit smaller. I'm going to go ahead and rotate it a little bit. So I'm going to go for something that looks similar, but not the same, to a more of an oval shape, I think. So I'm going to go for something like so. So we're going to go for an effect that goes that. So predominantly it's just affecting the face and pretty much nothing else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just brighten up that area, but not by too much. I'm also going to increase the contrast, again, according to the brightness. And then lastly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a -5 blue. And what it will do is it will just make it not look so orange in the face area, because again, we don't want to make it look too kind of fake. We want to add subtle changes to overall make the photo look a lot better. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the shadows, but not by too much, and bring down the highlights. So overall, we've just brightened up parts of the face without affecting the whole photo. So I'm going to go for something that looks similar to this. Now again, if you want to, you can actually use the new subject selection tool in Photoshop and select the whole person, and then you can brighten or darken the whole person effectively independently from the background. But I prefer using radial filters because sometimes they can look a little bit more subtle. So if I go ahead and show you the before, then I go and show you the after, you can see how dramatically affected this photo is and how much better it looks just by simply changing just a few sliders. I'll give you a few more examples. So here's another photo. Here is the before and here is the after. As you can see, there is a dramatic change, and it's something I recommend. This is one of the main reasons why everybody should shoot RAW, because you've got the ability to really manipulate the colors in your photos, either using Lightroom or using Photoshop. And there we go, guys. That is how you can get your golden hour photos to look absolutely spectacular just by changing a few sliders in Lightroom. Brilliant. Well, I hope that tutorial helped you out. And if it did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, guys, if you want to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, it really does help my channel grow. And make sure to hit the bell notification, guys, so you don't miss any of my latest content. Now, if you want to look at more Photoshop tutorials, I've got my playlist just up here. Or if you're more interested in quicker tutorials, I do my classic Tuesday 2-minute tutorials, and I've got my playlist just down here. But until next time, guys, keep creating.